point till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have HNT Helium up on the screen. This thing's been around for a while. Going back, it looks like June of 2020. It was released. The market cap on this bad boy, 463 million. So probably puts it in the 100s from a rank. So decent sized coin, but not huge. You can see, guys, going back, it's still well below its November 2021 high, down about 96%. So I have done alt season video on this before. Today we're going to get into the final few waves here. So if you're looking at this right now, I mean, technically where this guy's at, we're waiting on wave 2's wrapping up. We're waiting on waves 3, 4, and 5 here to get us going in an alt season. So the first thing I always want to do is I look back to the past and I see, all right, this was around for another alt season back in 2021. During that time, that thing ran about 19x, right? All right, sweet, big juice, let's go. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. Let's dive in now to HNT and let's look at the shorter time frame stuff. If you want here, we could do this. We could do a run up. You had your waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the macro. This thing has come all the way back down here into wave 2. So again, being down such a large percentage going back to that high, still not everything is going to make new highs, guys, and it does look like this is going to end up being the case for HNT, where we had our 5 waves up, and right now on the macro we're looking at a macro A working on the macro B. We'll talk about targets in a sec, and then this thing should roll over again in a macro C, and that would coincide with some sort of larger crash or depression. So not worried about that yet. But right now, we do want to figure out this B wave and waves 3, 4, and 5 of that. On the macro, too, you have this is a first wave. It's been in a drawdown since. So even here, starting at the low, right now we're looking at the C wave of the macro. Oops, excuse me. The C wave of, like we talked about, the macro B. This, right? So the black is what we're working on. The black C of the blue B is what we're completing. Okay? So that's how it works from an Elliott Wave perspective. Again, we're going to get into these targets here now in a second. Before I do that, guys, join the Quantum Circle, entries, exits, strategy, emotional and mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos, a whole lot more. Link to that is in my bio. That's where the real alpha exists. All right, back to HNT. You see all these different counts. You see what we're working on now. So let's talk about some of these targets. The first thing I want to do is draw fibs over the entirety of this range, going back to that high in October of 2021. You can see we're still well below this. We haven't even taken back 23% of that fall. That's what that means right there. So still quite a ways to go there for HNT, guys. On a lot of alts, we're talking about these extensions. Again, not going to be the case here for HNT. A full extension of that thing is like a 97x, right? You're talking way too big. Like it's like 45 billion in market cap. So I'm not looking at those prices up there for HNT. What we want to do now, and this is what we're doing across a lot of the market, is taking this last local high back right after that Trump pump. This thing barely got anything during the Trump pump, but pull that down to those lows. I need to be able to see those lows. Sure enough, you see that a 4236 of this range smacks the 618 right here. Okay, right there. The 618 of this range and the 4236 of this range. Let's pull this over a little bit more. Back to that high in February. That was the trend, the trend change, right? Right there, bam. Trend change there, bam. Been drawing down now for over a year and a half now. That's been drawing down. If I take that, look at the full extension of that range, bam, right there at the 702 and a nice round $40. So both of these two ranges, their extensions get us up here into the danger zone, the 618 to 786, into the danger zone on the broader time frame. That just makes way too much sense for me down here, guys. So for me, that's what I'm going to be looking at, somewhere between the $36 and $40. 40 is a nice round number, and it includes an extra year of data. So we're going to go ahead. We'll take that number up there. Bam, right at $40. So that's where we're going to be having for this wave 5. From our current price level, that's still some serious gas. That is a 16x from the current price level. That puts us at about 8 billion on the market cap. Not a huge, not a huge leap there. Let me see. Lost my train of thought. The other thing we want to do too is now we want to find out, all right, what are we doing for wave 3? Where is wave 3 going? So I'm going to leave this drawn out. Oftentimes, guys, we look for this thing to break past these local highs and then come back down to back test them or this region as a support. So a lot of times this thing will run up to the 1618 and then back down to that high. I see that 236, and I know we haven't been up there in a while. There's going to be some serious resistance up there. So for me, that's where it makes sense for the third wave to top out. Fourth wave coming back down. Again, we were looking at these areas here, and typically we're looking at a 35 to 50% drawdown. Just to get back to that high is 22%, back to this high is 30%, 35% at the 786, 40% at the 702, and we're looking at like 46% to get down to test that 618 of this range. And so that's where I'm looking. You look over and you can see that we've had some stuff stopped out in that area before. Any of these numbers can come in play, though, as a support. We're just trying to plan this out way ahead of time. So that's what we'd be looking at here for our wave 3, and then and wave 4, and then wave 5 is up there to about $40. So how does that look? That would give us our first wave, which was little, being about 100%, only a 2x. This would put our wave 3 from the current price level, 484%, a 5.8x. We have that big drop down to here, run up one more time, about 420%, of 5.2x. So this is how these things typically go, guys. I am seeing more of a retracement play here for HNT. There are bigger targets that we can talk about. If this wave 3 ends up going this full extension, awesome. We got a lot more to talk about. We do have some other price targets I've mentioned in the past. But first things first, I really want us to be able to crack through this. And based on what we're looking at on the macro, I'm not sure that it will. So again, in this scenario, it'd be an A, a B, a C. You got your 5 up, A, B, C down. Yep, and that won't be fun for anyone. But first, like I said, still 17x potential on the board for HNT. Guys, join the Quantum Circle real-time trades portfolio access. 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel. I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, super grateful you guys are here. If you could just follow, like, repost. I want to get this info out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope you're having a great Wednesday. Talk to you later.